Yo, what's good, peeps? I'm gonna take a look at the 10 best hip-hop inspired video games of all time, so make sure you keep it locked.
Number 10.
Yo, I must admit, the name of the game doesn't exactly have the same ring to it as the Tom Clancy series, yet that hasn't stopped this particular game from being a cult classic amongst gamers during the late PlayStation 2 era. The game was a mix of a number of different genres such as third-person platformer, beat-em-up, open-world environments, and a couple of others thrown into the mix, with even stealth making an appearance here or there. A lot of the game had you going around tagging property and leaving your graffiti art in some prominent places downtown, whilst not getting your backside handed to you by the local thugs or police. With everything the game has mixed into it, it seems like the kind of title that wouldn't go down very well for gamers, but there was a lot to love in this one game, and that's partly down to the quite clear hip-hop inspiration throughout.
Number 9.
Yo, with the prominence of the Guitar Hero series being in full swing at the time of 2009, it seemed the developers behind the game thought they could try out a new peripheral other than the guitar and switch out the musical inspiration from rock. These couple of changes led to DJ Hero, a game that allowed you to be the DJ's artist that you've always wanted to be without forking out thousands of hard-earned cash to purchase a decent DJ turntable. The idea behind DJ Hero started off novel, but just like with Guitar Hero, it didn't exactly take long to finally kick off, and it goes to show that the hip-hop scene can produce some great games, especially when those games focus solely on the music.
Number 8.
During his heights of fame, 50 Cent was given a chance to star in his own video game that would follow him around the streets of downtown and see just how hard the rapper had it, at least in a rather over-dramatic fashion. This game came in the form of a third-person shooter that had you playing as 50 Cent gunning down any gang members that would step to either him or his crew. To today's standards, keeping it real, the game hasn't really aged that great, but it doesn't prevent just how much influence the game took from the hip-hop scene, going as far as taking a prominent rapper at the time to star in the game.
Number 7.
Yo, Wu-Tang Shaolin Style, as I'm sure you can imagine, takes its inspiration from the rap group known as Wu-Tang Clan. It is a 4-player fighting game that has a number of famous rap and hip-hop stars hidden inside the game, with Method Man being the final boss of the game to top things off. I must admit, when my cousin first got this game on the PlayStation 1, I thought the idea of fighting as one of the Wu-Tang Clan members is a bit ridiculous, but now looking back on it, this was actually a pretty sick game. And I can't dispute just how well the game plays out, and that's even in comparison to today's standards. Overall, this is definitely a classic-inspired hip-hop game.
Number 6.
Yo, when this game was first released, some may have looked at it as a GTA killer in some form, as it was a vast open world sandbox game that allowed you to do pretty much whatever you please, except this time around it was from the cop side of things. The way you got away with a lot of what you did was because of the unit that you worked for, which was an undercover sector set up to infiltrate one of the most deadly and notorious gangs in the area of New York. To take a break from shaking down criminals for drugs or checking trunks of unmarked cars to see if they had any illegal firearms hidden within them, you can dart around the city listening to some great hip-hop and rap classic music.
Number 5.
Yo, just looking at the name of this game, I'm sure you'll be able to understand where I'm coming from with this particular title. Obviously, if you follow the channel, you know this is definitely a game that I really hold in high regards, so I'm probably not a surprise for many people to see this game on this list. Parappa the Rapper has you starring as this cool but friendly rapper in a music rhythm game that was quite clearly heavily inspired by hip-hop and rap culture. Thanks to this, it resulted in one of the most beloved video game characters in the past 15 years, all while being a solid title that could be played at any age and still be enjoyed very much even to today. Shout out to the people that got the remastered version on the PlayStation 4, because you know it's definitely all about that nostalgia vibe, and the music and the soundtrack of this game is awesome.
Number 4.
Yo, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was and still considered one of the best Grand Theft Auto games to ever be released, and the game is just barely shy of 10 years old. Even with its age, it doesn't show in the slightest when you're playing as CJ as a young man who returned from the mean streets of San Andreas to attend his mother's funeral. CJ originally left to get away from all the gang violence that he found himself wrapped up in, but it didn't take him long to find himself getting caught up in it all over again shortly after returning. Following on from this, you must take back the streets of CJ using whatever means possible, means that are anything but legal. Pretty much every Grand Theft Auto game has a musical inspiration behind the developer's thought process for the game, with GTA Vice City where it was treated with some classic tunes from the 80s, and San Andreas, I feel that this is definitely really hip-hop inspired in terms of the music and the soundtrack. And to me, with the story mixed with the hip-hop inspired music, it's probably the reason why I really love this game so much, and it definitely has been a classic Grand Theft Auto game in my eyes.
Number 3.
Yo, Jet Set Radio is one of those titles that has always been looked on with fondness, which is quite incredible when you consider just how niche the Sega Dreamcast turned out to be. Even with this holding the game back, it didn't stop Jet Set Radio being an awesome mix of pro skater mixed with some great hip-hop inspired tunes throughout. Oh, and to make things that much better for players of the game, every single angle you turn, you would be treated with some absolutely stunning and gorgeous colourful aesthetics that you couldn't forget about even if you tried. Not that you would ever want to. I feel with the graffiti elements, the DJ and the music, you can't deny that this has hip-hop written all over it.
Number 2.
Amongst fans, or probably just me, I consider this as one of the best basketball video games to ever be released. This game definitely took the best elements of basketball that fans of the sports love, and they can top it off with one of the world-renowned basketball players at any time, such as Michael Jordan, and then you're tasked with building your own team of nobody players to be the next best NBA Hall of Famers. Gameplay and visuals were all solid part of this game, and regardless of whether you had someone else to play with or you're playing it against a computer, this game would definitely have you playing for hours and hours upon end. Just to make things that little bit better, and the reason this game is actually on the list is because the game had a great hip-hop related soundtrack that I don't doubt for a single second would hold up to this very day. Trust me, I'm going to upload some gameplay footage of this game very soon, as this is a game that I absolutely love, especially the hip-hop DJ. Trust me, this is definitely one of the best NBA basketball games that I've personally ever played.
Number 1.
Yo, for me personally, I can honestly say that Def Jam Fight for New York is the #1 hip-hop influenced video game of all time, and that comes down to a number of reasons, many of which I wish would provide the game with a sequel or a remastering of some kind, because this incredible 3D fighting game certainly deserves it. Combat in this game is brutal, especially when you consider the only real way to finish off someone properly is by bottling someone in the face or doing your special move known as a blazing. Both story and gameplay revolved completely around some of the most popular and prominent faces of rap, such as Method Man and even Snoop Dogg starring as the antagonist for the story, except just under a different name, but you can quite clearly see his likeliness in the character. Honestly, there's just so much to love in this one fighting game, and despite it being around 13 years old or so now, it still holds its very own even today. Honestly speaking, there's just so much to love in this one fighting game, and despite it being around 13 years old now, it does still hold up to its very own without breaking a sweat. Of all the hip-hop inspired games out there, to me personally, I just feel that Def Jam Fight for New York is the best one to be released. Anyway, peeps, thanks for taking the time out to watch my very quick rundown of 10 games that I feel show a high level of hip-hop influence throughout them, even if it's just the soundtrack. Let me know your favorite hip-hop inspired games of all time, and do let me know if there's any that I actually missed off the list, and do any that I actually mentioned bring back any memories for you. If you enjoyed this countdown video, do hit the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and until next urban gameplay video, we definitely say peace out, peeps.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more cool urban gameplay videos.